He has been in some sense a giant who has stooped low to let me stand on his shoulders and see farther.
One of those few people I know who is willing to take or give opportunity to young aspiring scientists. For each individual, he finds the best in that person and actually makes him excel in that field.
Who is this gentleman who inspires such fervent devotion and admiration? Meet Dr. Sameer Brahmachari, the director of Institute of Genomics and Integrative Biology and a renowned expert in the field of functional genomics. Dr. Brahmachari, fondly known as SKB, started his childhood with a blaze literally.
I used to be fascinated by setting a fire in the chulla when I was very young. Once, when I was 4 years old, I one day set a fire on the dressing table of my mother, and even today the scar of that remains on that Belgian glass fitted to this dressing table. Since then my mother used to tie me up with her sari and tie that sari to pallu when she used to sleep in the afternoon.
His father, Assistant Commissioner of Police, and his mother, uneducated but a voracious reader of Bengali books, inculcated a deep spirit of nationalism in him. Youngest of 4 brothers and 2 sisters, while competing with his siblings, the word can't disappeared from his dictionary.
My brother was very harsh on me, elder brother. He will never help me solve the problem, but he will make sure that I get it done. I recall, one day he locked me up in a small room because I couldn't solve a problem, and until I could solve the problem, he didn't let me come out. And in spite of my crying, and when I solved and came out, instead of praising me, he actually asked me why you were saying you can't do it.
A winner of the National Science Talent Scholarship in school, Dr. Brahmachari always focused on learning rather than marks. A focus that cost him his first class in both BSc and MSc and gave him a serious handicap while pursuing a fellowship in Molecular Biophysics Unit, IISc, Bangalore.
From the crowded Raja Bazaar Science College, when I came to this beautiful lush green campus of Indian Institute of Science and in Molecular Biophysics Unit for a junior research fellow position in a CSIR project, I knew I was handicapped by not having a first class. So I had stood for 2 days in the corridors of MBU and persuaded eventually Professor Sheshekharan took pity on me and took the interview. And in the interview, of course, since then I got through, and within 1 year I could write a paper, but still I was not a PhD student. And Indian Institute of Science, next Senate changed the minimum requirement of PhD for 55% MSc, which allowed me to eventually become a research scholar at Indian Institute of Science.
Dr. SKB completed his PhD in a record time of 3 years and 10 days. His coursework grade record remains unbeaten even today.
When I came back from France and joined the Molecular Biophysics Unit as a faculty, the question that was there, what is that we can do unique and not get into competition with the West? The fundamental understanding of DNA structure and its role in regulation of gene expression was our interest. However, I realized unless the sequence is present in the genome, that sequence or that structure will never happen. And so my interest went into understanding what are the sequences, simple repeat sequences that are present in the genome. My belief that such sequences will play a role which were thought to be parasitic and non-functional has come true subsequently. Thereby my interest moved into genome, and I got elected to the Hugo in 1990 for my contribution in understanding simple repeat sequences in the genome in late 80s.
To pursue his avid interest in genomics, Dr. Brahmachari headed to Center for Biochemical Technology, a small dedicated laboratory of CSIR. He knew the small place would help him escape administrative hierarchies to see the fruits of his research. Dr. Brahmachari set about reinventing the place. Be it the functional genomics unit, changing the attitude of the personnel, analyzing genomes in collaboration with hospitals, or tapping the power of IT for genome research, he set the ball rolling.
I am indeed proud to be associated with such a great visionary leader like Professor Brahmachari. From a laboratory which had only one single PC, and today it has India's largest supercomputing facility, and this has come true because of his vision.
Under the able leadership of Dr. SKB, CBT was transformed into the leading Institute of Genomics and Integrative Biology, that is IGIB, dedicated to genomics research with an impressive array of publications and patents in its kitty. A significant feather in IGIB's cap remains the establishment of TCGA, the Center for Genomic Application.
A few years before, one day Samir walked into my office and says, Professor Ramamurthy, what can you do to help a young man with an idea to convert it into a product? And that discussion led to the establishment of TCGA. Yet another uniqueness of TCGA is this is probably one of the rare occasions where there is a public-private partnership. And I must congratulate Samir that not only he convinced me that it is worth doing something new, he convinced his bosses how it should be done and why it should be done, and he convinced the Purnendu Chatterjee group that they should invest in this, and we see TCGA in existence today.
TCGA has enabled IGIB to transform India from a mere follower to a leader. Dr. SKB, a true nationalist and an achiever par excellence, carries many mantles with ease. But how is the man behind this popular image? Let us find out. This INSA Young Scientist medal holder found his soulmate in another INSA Young Scientist medal holder, a match of brilliant minds. Dr. SK and his loving support and critic, Dr. Mrs. Vani, have two children, Saurav and Meghna.
I always knew if I had to do science in India, I must have a companion who will also be a working scientist and understand my profession and be a friend. Vani was all through first gold medalist in BSc and MSc. So I saw, although she is a Karnataka, my mother will have no objection and she'll be delighted to have a daughter-in-law who fulfills her dream which children could not fulfill.
As a woman who is interested in career, what she would like to see in the husband is that they encourage her to have the career and be supportive in whatever ways. As far as encouragement is concerned, I think he was very, very encouraging. He always went all the way to encourage, as well as, you know, he made the family also. He could talk them, make them understand that it is important for me to have career, and he would be supportive of that all along. And that has been all through.
I wouldn't have been what I am unless but for her. I knew what I wanted and I got, but marriage is a made in heaven, and I'm glad that it happened that way.
His favorite meal would be fish fry and khichdi. He hates to eat curd rice in the South Indian style. He would like to wear pure cotton, comfortable clothes, hates to wear tie. Likes Rabindra Sangeet and classical instrumental music. Likes to read biography and books talking on strategies, war strategies and management. He doesn't like fiction very much. Satyajit Ray's movies he loves to watch. His hobby is collecting crockery and cutlery. He has an eye for, unusual things. And he loves to talk, that's one of his hobbies. And also reading Bengali poetry.
Yes, my hobby is to carry a plan for others, especially young generation. and make them focus on learning rather than exam and marks. If I aim high and work hard with honesty, I believe rest falls in place. I have not made effort to make money, but I strongly believe if you chase Saraswati, Lakshmi automatically follows.
With many prestigious awards such as Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar, Ranbakshi to his credit, the author of several well-cited publications and a member of the most influential societies in functional genomics and molecular biophysics, Dr. SKB, the director of IGIB, is an inspiration to many. Always on the lookout for new missions and knottier problems to solve, SKB continues to make inroads into paths hitherto untrodden.